Thanks for tuning in and welcome to the Post Route Show. And now, here's your host, W. Earl Kitchings.
Good evening and welcome to another edition of the Post Route Show, the show where we dive deep into conversations with Black quarterbacks, both past and present. I am your host, W. Earl Kitchings. This show is proudly brought to you by Quarter Phi Back, the preeminent fraternity for Black quarterbacks and home of the prestigious BIP Memorial Trophy, the only national award that honors both the top HBCU quarterback and the top Black high school quarterback. The top Black quarterback, from high schools across the nation. We're thrilled to have you with us as always tonight. And if you enjoy what you see and what you're listening to and watching, all we do is ask that you give us some support. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, or tap the notification bell so you never miss an episode. Join us live every Monday night at 7 p.m. for more phenomenal conversations. Tonight, we've got an excellent guest to bring to you, and we are so happy that he has agreed to join us. But before we get to our guest tonight, the weeks of college football and high school football just continue to roll along. And what we want to do tonight is bring you our top 10 quarterbacks from the HBCU level, give you our quarterback of the week from the HBCU ranks, and then give you our top 15 high school quarterbacks and our high school quarterback of the week. So let's get started. In the number 10 position, still on the watch list and still one of the top 10, that would be Zy McDonald, Clark Atlanta University. Young man is having an excellent game. Got a chance to see him last week on TV as they played Fort Valley in an excellent ball game that they were able to pull out at home on the red carpet, as they call it over there at Clark Atlanta. Zy McDonald at number 10. At number 9, this guy making his first appearance on our watch list, his name is Dalen Lee, the junior from Winston-Salem State University, making some headway over there in the CIAA. Man, that CIAA is a competitive conference. You got to keep your eyes on what those guys are doing because they keep guys on this watch list week in and week out. At number 8, the guy who had been at the top of the list for the last couple of weeks is now dropped to number 8. But Rashawn Matthews, the redshirt freshman at Virginia State University, is at number 8. At number 7, our quarterback of the week from last week, having a phenomenal season, the senior from Albany State University, that will be Isaiah Knowles. At number 6, the junior from Florida A&M University, R.J. Johnson III, from the SWAC conference. He's representing that conference over there, doing a phenomenal job over there for the Rattlers. Even though they have not been as successful as they wanted to be, he is still putting up some numbers. At number 5, one of our fraternity brothers, as we like to say, now at Johnson C. Smith, that will be graduate student Kelvin Durham. Kelvin Durham having a phenomenal season. The Bulls are undefeated as they started off last year the same way, and he's making sure that they are a team to contend with in the CIAA. Another young man who is moving up and showing that he knows exactly what to do with the football is number 4 is Noah Bowden from Edward Waters University. He has now put the Edward Waters University Tigers at 3-0. This is the first time that Edward Waters has been 3-0 since 1964. And that year they went undefeated. This young man came from Southern University by way of New York, which is his home state. And he is starting to put it together and give Coach Brian Jenkins and those Tigers some headway in the SIAC. So keep your eyes on Edward Waters as they contend for the SIAC championship. At number 3, he had dropped off last week, but he's back. The junior from Allen University, that's Jameer Dismukes, had a phenomenal week last week and pushed himself back up into the top 3. At number 2, Cornelius Brown IV, the senior from Alabama A&M, another SWAC product. We'll get a chance to see him in 2 weeks when we travel to Daytona Beach to watch Alabama A&M and the Bethune-Cookman Wildcats get it on in a SWAC matchup. And then at number 1, moving to the number 1 spot, he had been in number 2 for the past couple of weeks, but now he's moved up to number 1, primarily because Matthews did not have a game this past week, but it does not matter. Keep this name on the forefront of what you're thinking about, and that is Andrew Body, the redshirt junior at Alabama State, starting to make the Hornets' presence felt in the SWAC. So it's going to be quite a run this year, not only in the SWAC from one division to the other, but let me tell you, when they have the Magic City Classic, Andrew Body facing off with Cornelius Brown IV, that is going to be a fireworks night or afternoon. So keep your eyes on him. But Body putting the Hornets at 3-0, just like Alabama A&M is fighting for their top spots in their division. So we'll see how that bears out. But there you have our top 10 quarterbacks for HBCU. Now, let me give you our quarterback of the week from the HBCU ranks. And that guy would be Cornelius Brown IV from Alabama A&M. Passed for 375 yards, 2 touchdowns in a come-from-behind victory over the Ohio Valley Big South member Tennessee State in a big ball game last week. Brought the Bulldogs back with a 23-21 victory. Kudos to him, and we like to say he's doing a fine job, and that was quite a ball game that he had last week. So we'll see how he bears out throughout the rest of September, especially when we get a chance to see him for ourselves down in Daytona Beach. Now, let me move on to those guys on our high school list, because these are the up-and-coming guys for our quarterbacks as we go throughout the year. At number 15, Brenton James out of St. Augustine High, St. Augustine, Florida, with 955 yards and 12 touchdowns. At number 14, Chance Thomas, Western High School in Anaheim, California, 957 and 11 TDs. At number 13, Tydrick Powell Jr. from Southeast Raleigh in Raleigh, North Carolina. And it just seems that year in, year out, those guys in Raleigh, man, or North Carolina continue to have some outstanding football players. At number 12, J.R. Jackson, a senior from Alliance High School in Alliance, Ohio. At number 11, Jeremiah Latimer from St. Cloud High School in St. Cloud, Florida. Number 10, Jarrell Crawford from Walkertown High in Walkertown, North Carolina. At number 9, Jaden Bibbs, a senior from Bowie High School in Arlington, California. At number 8, Jordan Kelly, a junior from Ricketts High School in Tallahassee, Florida, the Panhandle. Number 7, Jelani Dipple remains on our list, Central East High School in Fresno, California. Number 6, Marcus Flowers from Princeton, out of Princeton, Texas, at 1,020 yards. At number 5, Dylan Reese from Parker High School in Birmingham, 1,070 yards, 14 touchdowns. Staying on the list, Xavier Jeter, the junior out of Midland Valley from Graniteville, South Carolina. Did not play last week, so he and Reese are tied at 1,070. At number 3, Star Thomas. Now, you got to love a guy who's got a name like that. Star Thomas from Orange High School in Orange, California, 1,142 yards. At number 2, Deshaun Laporte, the junior from Burbank High School, 1,216 yards, 15 touchdowns, making his way to being one of the top quarterbacks out in the state of California. And at number 1, you got to love this name, Cannon Robinson, just a sophomore, Westlake High School in Atlanta, Georgia, 1,234 yards after 5 games and 14 touchdowns. So that will do it for that list of guys. But let me tell you, let me give you our high school quarterback of the week, none other than Mr. Cannon Robinson. That young man had 300 plus yards and 4 touchdowns in a loss last week to Roswell by the score of 50-30, but he did himself proud, connected with his top receiver there for 2 touchdowns. I'm sorry, for 1 touchdown and 118 yards. But he's just a sophomore, and we're looking for some fine things to come out of that Atlanta area as usual. So congratulations to Cannon Robinson, our quarterback of the week at the high school level. Now, let me get to my guest for tonight. When we talk about being experienced, this is a guy who is definitely an experienced quarterback. Originating from Lakeland, Florida, Kathleen High School. Now, for those of you who know Kathleen High School in the state of Florida, you know that basketball is kind of what's going on over there. But football, they've got a lot of names that they can give you who have played there, and he is just one of them. Left Kathleen High School, did a year at Boston College, went to JUCO, and then finished his collegiate career at East Carolina. In 2011, he was on the Manning Award, Maxwell Award, and Davey O'Brien Award watch list. He is 5th on the school's all-time passing yards list, 7,192 yards, 62 touchdowns, and he holds the East Carolina single-season record for passing touchdowns in a season with 37. This young man had an opportunity to play be on 3 rosters for teams in the NFL and 6 rosters on the CFL. So that's why I say he's got a ton of experience and a lot of things he can talk to us about. And we're going to talk to him about some of those things tonight. So please welcome me in joining my guest for tonight, Mr. Dominique Davis, East Carolina by way of the NFL and CFL. Dominique, welcome to the show tonight, my man.
Thank you for having me. I'm glad to be here.
So let's just jump right into it. We talked a little bit earlier about, the Red Devils. I believe that's the nickname over there, Kathleen had the Red Devils and the basketball prominence. But you kind of shed some light on, we're good in basketball, but we got a lot of football guys. And basketball was going to be something you wanted to do, but football seemed to step in its place. Talk a little bit about that for you.
Okay, so I played football ever since I was 7 years old, and been playing, receiver and tight end and a little bit of defense, just trying to be like my bigger brother who was drafted to the Denver Broncos when I was 9 years old. So I was just trying to be exactly like him. So
what's his name?
His name is Desmond Clark.
Desmond Clark. Yep. Okay, I want everybody to know now. I want them to know your pedigree.
Yes, sir. Tight end for Chicago Bears for 8 years. Yep.
Okay.
And, so by the time I got to my sophomore year of high school, I basically decided I'm not playing football no more. I'm done. I'm going to stick to basketball. I just hit a growth spurt. I just basically hit a 180 with my athletic ability in basketball. As far as, I done came a long way from my freshman year to now. So me seeing that myself, I was like, you know what? I'm going to just focus on basketball and try to go to college for basketball. So during that process, we ended up getting a new football coaching staff. And he came in the gym one day and just saw me in there dunking and jumping out the gym and wanted me to come back and play receiver. So I ended up, going back to play football, playing receiver in spring football. And my best friend, who's the quarterback, he gets hurt in practice. And we didn't have any other quarterbacks. So we tried to put guys in Wildcat. We tried a whole bunch of stuff. But, I was just so happy to be standing next to our head coach. And he just asked me, did I know how to throw a football? And I knew just as much as he knew. I have no idea, coach. So he just told me just throw until our quarterback gets back in practice. But after that little 5-minute throwing session, I never went back to receiver. And I went home that night and told my family I'm a quarterback now. And they couldn't believe me. So they had to come see it for themselves. And the rest is history.
So, Dominique, did your best friend come back and y'all had to battle for the position, man? Because, that's your best friend. So now he comes back and it's like, what's going to happen?
So during that offseason, he is still the starting quarterback. I'm just not receiver no more. I'm just also a quarterback. So the whole offseason, you know, he's the guy. So we working, our coach, you know, taking us through fundamental drills and all type of stuff that we need to work on. And we get to the preseason and we have our kickoff classic. He plays the first half. No, he played the first quarter, and then I played the second quarter. And I was doing really good. And my friend, he was also our starting cornerback.
Oh, okay.
So that's the position he really wanted to just focus on. He was just the quarterback because he was our team captain. He was the smartest guy on the team. He knew everything. He knew how to read coverages and do all that good stuff that I didn't know how to do yet. But after seeing that in the second quarter, he just told coach, man, let him play quarterback. Like, give it to him. So after that, I was just
okay. So you go through, you know, that time and you finish your high school career. Are offers coming into you to come to college? I mean, because it sounds like, man, that was an amazing time for you, man, to go from not wanting to play ever again and all of a sudden inserted in as the quarterback. And now you're like, I'm a quarterback. That's what I'm going to be. And that's what I like. I mean, so who started talking to, what colleges started calling you up and had interest in you?
So I initially was getting basketball. I got a couple of basketball offers.
Yeah.
My junior year. But going into my senior year, I'm the youngest of 4 boys.
Okay.
So my second oldest brother, Paul, his name is Paul. We sat down and we, you know, did the pros and cons. Do you want to be an undersized basketball player at the next level, or do you want to be a 6'4" quarterback at the next level? Which one makes the most sense right now? So it was like, I'm gonna go to school for football. So I had to tell my basketball coach, like, coach, I'm not going to school for basketball. So you don't even any schools calling for me in basketball, you can shut them off. But after my junior year, that's when I started getting calls. But I was getting a lot of calls from, you know, the smaller schools like Youngstown State, Bowling Green, Middle Tennessee. And then I started getting a little bit of bigger schools like Ole Miss, UNLV, FAU, UCF. And then literally 2 weeks before signing day, I'm in basketball practice, and these three guys look like they part of the mafia, dressed in all black, slick back hair. They came in, and they was the coaches from Boston College.
Okay.
So after practice, my football coach came and got me, and I went and met with the coaches from Boston College, and literally, I sat down. It was the OC, Steve Logan, and Jeff Jagosinski. He was the head coach.
Okay.
As soon as I sat down, Steve Logan literally grabbed the pen and started writing plays on the whiteboard.
Okay.
Just started coaching me up through stuff. Like, he didn't introduce himself. He didn't say nothing. He just literally grabbed the pen and just started writing on the board about plays and stuff. And it wowed me. It wowed me so much. And I had a visit to Buffalo, but with Turner Gill, and I had to call Turner Gill and let him know, man, I'm not coming to Buffalo. I'm sorry, but I'm gonna take my last visit to this other school, and it was Boston College. And I went on my visit, admitted on my visit, basically.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Now, did you know anything about Coach Gill when he was recruiting you did you know about his pedigree in college?
I did not until my brothers told me who Turner Gill was, because they were old enough to know who he was and what he was all about. So I knew all about him as soon as my brother found out Turner Gill was the coach at Buffalo.
Yes, sir.
So
yes, sir.
yeah, I definitely knew. West Kentucky with Willie Taggart.
Yes, sir.
He was a great guy. So
Yep.
I was around a lot of former, quarterbacks who ended up being coaches.
Well, man, I mean, just the fact that Turner Gill was interested in you, and me having seen Turner Gill in his college days, man, and he was that guy at Nebraska.
Right.
Before they got Tommy Frazier, Turner Gill was the name. He was quite a quarterback and quite a leader, man. So if he saw something in you, I would have to be like, okay. But so you end up going to Boston College, and a lot of times, what seems to be something good isn't always. So you left there, went to a JUCO, and you were telling me that JUCO was really a revelating life experience for you. Just talk a little bit about what made that such a life-revealing experience for you, Dominique.
I was in Fort Scott, Kansas, and from the moment I landed in Kansas City and got in the rental car and got on the highway, I didn't see nothing but land the whole way to Fort Scott. It was about a 3-hour drive, so the whole way was nothing but land. So I'm already like, okay, when are we going to see something? Like, where's school at? And when we got there, when we pulled up, because my brother and my dad, they took me there.
Yeah.
Even they was shell shocked. Like, oh my gosh, like, where are we? This ain't the place you want to be. Like when it get dark. It's nothing. Because it's really one street light. 2 restaurants. And a Walmart. And that is it. And a small high school. So man, it's really a humble experience being in Fort Scott, Kansas.
Now from there, obviously you made some noise because somebody from East Carolina thought that you could help them. So was that a phone call? Was that a, hey, come visit us? What was the process going from Kansas to East Carolina? Because I'm surprised. Did anybody from Kansas or Kansas State come and look at you or show any interest in you while you out there in Kansas?
Okay, so I'm gonna back up a little bit to the time I left Boston College. So when I left Boston College, my first initial plan was to go to another Division I program. I knew I would have to sit out a year, but that was the plan. So I came home. We called up East Carolina was one of the schools we called up. We called East Carolina, but they didn't pick up. But we definitely left a voicemail. And then Fort Scott ended up getting a hold of me and letting me know, we just finished the number 6 team in the nation. We got the best left tackle who's committed to LSU. We got a running back who just rushed for 2,000 yards. And the only reason we didn't make it this past season because we didn't have a quarterback. And he was like, and with my credits from Boston College, all I needed was like 6 credits to get my AA degree. And I could do that in the summer. So he was like, you could really just come here in the summer, get your credits, and then just enjoy the football season. And then when the season over, you can go to another school. What you trying to do? That's how I went to JUCO.
Wow.
By the time I got to JUCO, that's when East Carolina called me back. That's when they called me back when I got to the JUCO, and we just kept in contact. They just showed the most interest. They showed up to practices in Fort Scott. They always kept in touch. Kansas State, they showed a little interest, but they really didn't show no interest. But I didn't really give any other schools a chance. I committed like early, like because our season started in September, and I committed in October to East Carolina. Like soon as I took a visit, it was the atmosphere, I just knew this is where I'm going. I'm coming here. Like, there's no way. And meeting those coaches, they let me call the first play of the game. The day before, he asked me, like, what play you want to see first play? I said, I want to see a play action rollout. And that's exactly what he called. And I was like, oh my gosh, like, coach really like me. Like, they really like me here. And it's a college football atmosphere, and and they just love football. There's nothing else there but East Carolina football. So
that's it.
I was like, this is exactly where I want to be. I don't care who else. And I know if I come here the next season, this is going to be my best opportunity to start.
Okay.
So I was like, this makes too much sense to come here. Okay. So, yeah.
So Dominique, I got to ask the question, man. They didn't put the number one guy from East Carolina on your tail, man, to try to get you to come to East Carolina. And I'm speaking of the great Jeff Blake. They didn't make Jeff Blake give you a call and say, look, man, you need to come to East Carolina, because Jeff is right here in the state. He's right here in the state of Florida.
He didn't like recruit me, quote unquote. Okay. But when I did commit, he did reach out to me to tell me, welcome to East Carolina football. Gotcha. But that was about it. That was the last time I've heard from him. But he did actually reach out and say, hey, welcome to East Carolina football. So that was cool. And I've met David Garrard because he's an East Carolina alumni too. Right. He's a good guy. So yeah, those guys definitely made me feel very welcome when I first committed.
Well, you joined a family of at East Carolina, man. It's a proud tradition. It's a great school. I mean, we've seen the success they've had. So for you to get there and do what you did in your 2 years, I mean, you get there in 2 years, man, and you leave there being number 5 all time on the list. I mean, obviously you and the coach hit it off, man, because he gave you the keys to the Mercedes, and it's like you cranked it up and just drove the Pirates, man, to wherever you wanted to drive them, which I think is a great thing, man. So I'm glad to hear that both Jeff and David got in touch with you, because I think that strengthens that bond that you'll need. It's like, okay, I'm at the right place.
Absolutely. And I had some great coaches who helped me, finish 5th, all time at East Carolina for those 2 years. And Lincoln Riley, who is the head coach at USC right now. He was my coordinator. And
get out of here.
Ruffin McNeil was my head coach.
Okay.
Yes. So So I actually committed at East Carolina to Skip Holtz.
Gotcha.
He was the head coach there, but he just came off 2 back-to-back conference championships. So he took a bigger job to USF.
Right.
So I almost decommitted and went to USF because I'm from Lakeland and it's USF, it's next door. So I was like, and then they BJ Daniels, he was here at USF.
Yeah.
So they called me when they finally got down here and was just like, we still want you to come here, but we're gonna run a 2 quarterback system with you and BJ. And that didn't sit well with me. And literally the next day they hired Ruffin McNeil from Texas Tech. And when I saw that, I was like, okay, Texas Tech, they throw the ball. They don't run the ball at all. So I know I put up big numbers. Okay. So he signed that day, and then he met with the team that evening, and then that night he called me.
Okay.
He called me that night and told me he was coming to my house the next day.
Wow.
Him and Lincoln Riley, he was in my house the next day after he got hired. And that went a very long way especially with my family. That went a long way. They was like, this man just got hired and came to see you the next day. Like, you're going to East Carolina. Yeah. So yeah. So I mean, I wish I had more than 2 years at East Carolina, because I know if I had, 1 more year, numbers could be different.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. But as we all know, our faith and our journey is not always in our hands, and it was meant for you to go to East Carolina, and it was meant for you to do what you did at East Carolina. And, and that's all that needs to be said about that, because, hey, and your journey was meant to be what it was. So yeah, I'm glad that it worked out the way it did. But it's interesting that you said BJ Daniels, because BJ Daniels is a part of our quarterback back fraternity. He's been on the show, man, and that would have been a hell of a quarterback room with both you and him. But then again, if you're more comfortable with throwing more so than working from maybe the run pass situation, I understand. If they're going to spin it the way they did at East Carolina, you made the best choice, man. And so you get there, man. And before we take this quick time out, 37 touchdowns in one season, man. I mean, golly.
I mean, hey, I had some really good receivers. I really had some really good receivers.
Okay.
My first year in Carolina.
Okay.
Specifically talking about Dwayne Harris. So
okay.
He was a guy you could just, literally pitch it to, and he gonna catch it and take it to the house. So
Got you.
He was one of the best playmakers in all of college football. He had a nice career with the Dallas Cowboys as a kick returner, a little bit with the Giants, and I had Justin Hardy for a little bit. I had a guy by the name of Lance Lewis. I just had a lot of weapons around me that just made plays, and it was a fun year. It was Lincoln's first year as a offensive coordinator,
wow.
So he was definitely, calling some great plays for guys to get open quick or get open down deep.
Well, obviously, your talent from the fact that you wanted to give up football, man, and here it is, 3-4 years later, you're on the primary stage, you're on the big stage, and you putting up numbers, and dude, you set the school record for season touchdown passes in the season. So yeah, you made the right choice. I'm glad your big brother talked you out of that basketball, because at 6'4", man, yeah, you would have just been a small, I don't know, you'd have been a guard. We know that, and that would have been by the end of it. It's like, and coaches will tell you, man, I got plenty of 6'4" guards, man. I mean, yeah, I can get many, but a 6'4" quarterback, nah. So yeah, I'm happy you made the choice. Well, look, man, I'm gonna take a quick time out. We're gonna come back, and then we're gonna talk about that professional career you had, because I'm just so interested in hearing a couple of those stories, man. Because to play in both leagues, to be in the quarterback rooms at both leagues, man, even though they're different, it's so much experience to be gained. So we're gonna come back and talk a little bit about your pro career as we continue on our show with the Post Route. Okay.
Okay, sounds good to me.
All right, my guest tonight, man, Dominique Davis. And if you know anything about East Carolina football, hey, you know that he did his work up there for the Pirates and put up some phenomenal numbers, 5th all-time on their passing list, 37 touchdowns in one season, the school record. Man, you got to be doing some things in order to put it out there. And like they say, you can throw it, but you got to have somebody to catch it. And the guys who are catching it, they got to have somebody to throw it. So, man, and to be playing for a Lincoln Riley, who is now at USC, wow. So, yeah. So, anyway, I want to just remind you that if you have not gotten my book, The Forgotten QBs, the little-known history, information, and statistics about Black quarterbacks in American college football, let me tell you, you might have a lot of books on your bookshelf, but it's empty if you don't have this one on there, The Forgotten QBs. It is truly an amazing book, if I must say so myself, simply because it gives you some historical data about quarterbacks that played for colleges throughout America from 1903 to 1990. And there are a lot of names that you may not be familiar with, but that's why this book was written, to familiarize you with those guys who played at the major level, but also the guys who played at the HBCU level, because there was a lot of phenomenal guys who played there. And of course, when I think about the quarterbacks who played at the HBCUs, I think about a Bruce Eugene at Grambling. I think about a Willie Totten. He and Jerry Rice lit it up over there at Mississippi Valley State. And then, of course, probably one of the greatest and most phenomenal quarterbacks to ever play at both the collegiate, not just for Black colleges, but for collegiate and pros. That would be Steve Air McNair. But this statistics, information, stories, all this is in the book, and you need to get you a copy of it. It makes a great Christmas gift if you haven't started your Christmas list. You can contact me directly via email at quarter5back@yahoo.com. You can get me your information. We take both Zelle at 904-994-2189, or you can pay us by Cash App at $Q5back44. Get your copy of this book, man, and learn. One of the things when I've autographed this book, I say enjoy the history and share. Enjoy the book and share the history. Enjoy the book and share the history, because these quarterbacks in that span of 1903 to 1990 are the legacies that a lot of these guys are standing on their shoulders even today. Even my guest tonight, Dominique Davis, is standing on the shoulders of guys that played at these collegiate levels. So there it is. And that's all we can say about that. We're going to get back to my guest, Dominique Davis, and welcome him back to the show. Dominique, hey, man, let's talk a little bit about that professional career, because you shared with me that after East Carolina, you went undrafted, but talk about what happened immediately after the draft was over for Dominique Davis that it even shocked you.
So I'm sitting there watching the draft. I basically knew, like, my chances of getting drafted would be late 6th round, 7th round. But I kind of knew, like, I wasn't going to get drafted. So the draft was over, and I literally sat there on the couch and took one deep breath and said to myself, what am I going to do now? And literally my phone rings, and it's my agent, and he tells me I'm signing with the Atlanta Falcons. So I just had literally 2 minutes of panic, and boom, here we go.
What caused the panic? I mean, because that's what you're waiting on. You're waiting on that call to come. I mean, what caused the panic? Because it's like, okay, my prayer's answered.
I mean, you know, every player's dream is to get their name called on draft day. So when that moment don't happen, it's like, okay, what now? So I literally didn't know what happens. Like, as undrafted free agents, I just didn't know. So just for that short moment, what am I gonna do? And here we go.
Okay. So you get a chance to go to Atlanta, get in their camp, do a little work with them. You leave Atlanta and go to Tennessee, I believe.
Yep.
Who was the quarterback at the time when you were at Tennessee?
It was Jake Locker. He was the starter, but he was injured. The backup was Charlie Whitehurst, but he was injured. And then they had a young guy. They had a young guy, so it was just him, and they needed another body.
Gotcha.
For the last preseason game. So my agent, basically, one thing I loved about my agent, he always kept it real with me. He was like, Tennessee want to sign you, but they only just bring you in for a preseason game, and they probably gonna let you go. But at least you never know. They might fall in love with you, and anything can happen. So I was literally there for about 4 days. 2 practices, a walkthrough, and a game, and got let go the next day. And then after the first week of the regular season, the Colts called me.
Okay.
And I signed with them.
Okay. How long were you with the Colts?
I was with the Colts for about 6 weeks. I was on the practice squad for about 6 weeks.
Okay.
And then that's when I really learned about, you know, like, the NFL, it ain't all about, you know, talent. It's about it's a numbers game, especially if you on the practice squad or you 3rd or 4th on the depth chart. Like, if a guy gets hurt and they need somebody to come in right away to play, they got to let somebody go on the practice squad.
Right.
Or the active roster, you 3rd, 4th man to bring this person in. Like, it's not because you not talented or nothing, but they just need to fill this void, and we just gotta eliminate somebody to add somebody, and that's kind of what happened to me. But then after that, Canada started showing me the most interest, and it just kept ringing in my head, and I finally was like, yeah, I'm going to the CFL.
Okay, so give everybody an idea of what it's like, man, because we hear about guys on the practice squad, but we don't really know what they're dealing with. Are you in the quarterback room? You got to be to practice every day. You got to do everything everybody else is doing, except knowing that you may not ever get on the field, but you got to always be in prepared mode. I got to stay prepared. I got to learn this playbook because I don't know what the coach might do. You know, he might see something in me that he likes, and he might just want to say, well, we're going to give you a shot. Now, if you're not prepared, that's your fault. But is that kind of what you have to, I mean, because it's almost like you got to stay ready all the time.
Absolutely. That's the life of a backup and the life of a guy on the practice squad. You just always got to prepare like you're the starter or you're going to play that week, because it might not happen week 1, 2, 3, 4, or week 10. It might happen week 12, 13, 14, or whatever. But if you've been preparing yourself like you're going to play for those past weeks before you got to actually play, then it's a smoother process. Right. It's a smoother process. So, man, it's definitely it could be frustrating at times, because as a competitor, you want to be out there and you actually want to add value on game day with your teammates. So sometimes that can be frustrating, but it's definitely you don't want to take those opportunities for granted, because if you don't, show up when it's your opportunity, you probably never get one again, and you can't really blame it on anybody but yourself.
How critical would you say building relationships with coaches and other quarterbacks are when you're in that kind of position? How critical is that for future growth in your mind?
I feel like it's huge, because just like coaches who build relationships with other coaches, you go from one team to another team, and the first people you think about is the people you built, close relationships with, who you want to bring along with you. So that's one good reason to build relationships. And, it doesn't even have to be about football. It could just be off the field, just guys you really bonded with, who you just got very close to, who become, your best friends, who become, I was the best man for some of my teammates for two weddings. So, it just goes longer than deeper than football. Some guys you build relationships and become lifelong best friends.
Gotcha. So now you end up going to Canada. First team, I believe, was it Ottawa?
My first team was Calgary. Actually.
Calgary. The Stampeders. Okay.
Yep, I was with Calgary for the preseason.
Yeah.
And they ended up letting me go, and then literally the next day I went to Winnipeg.
Gotcha.
And that's where I was for 3 years.
Oh, okay.
Yep,
okay.
Yep.
Okay.
There for 3 years, and then I went to Ottawa, and I was in Ottawa for 4 years.
Oh, okay. Well, just to hear you talk about your experience in Canada, man, because the history and legacy of Black quarterbacks in the Canadian Football League, man, is very well documented. A lot of success. I know when you talk about Black quarterbacks in Canada, the first name that always comes out is, Warren Moon. But it was some guys before Warren Moon. We've had the guy who set I think he's second all time in passing in Canada, and that was Damon Allen. Yes, sir.
Absolutely.
Oh, yes, sir.
Yep.
Yes, sir.
I've met him many times.
And man, hey, Dominique, when I found out about him, I was just like in shock. I'm like, 72,000 yards, 23 years.
He's
God.
He's like second in passing yards, and I think he's probably top 10 in rushing yards as a quarterback.
Unbelievable,
so
man.
It's outrageous.
I mean, when you think about a guy playing 23 years as a quarterback in one league, it's like, man. So him, I think about some other guy. One of my favorite guys, man. He played way back in the early 70s, but I'm bringing it up because he was one of the most phenomenal quarterbacks in college football at the time. His name is Chuck Ealy.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know about Chuck Ealy?
I know of him. Yeah.
Yeah, man. Chuck Ealy was that dude, man. But again, the NFL overlooked a lot of these guys. They overlooked the Warren Moon. They overlooked the Chuck Ealy. They overlooked the Damon Allen. You know, a lot of guys went up there. Tracy Ham, although Tracy Ham was not a big guy, Tracy Ham, man, struck fear in the hearts of a lot of guys because if he broke containment, it's a wrap. It's a wrap, man. So a lot of guys have gone on, man. So for you to have that experience in Canada, what was it like to, because it seems like in Canada they are willing to give black quarterbacks more opportunity than maybe in the NFL.
So my initial plan going to Canada was, okay, I'm gonna get up here for 2 years, get on the field, get some film, and come back to the NFL.
Okay.
And literally 5 years later, I'm like, it ain't too bad up here. Like I can make a living up here, and it's a game for quarterbacks. And
exactly.
They pay the quarterbacks the best. So it was just like, okay, like this not bad. So in Canada, they don't care about what you look like. They care about can you play or can you not play. And a lot of black quarterbacks, we got that stigma where we're athletes, not more than quarterbacks.
Right.
But that's the game in CFL. If you can move around and be mobile, you can be successful in the CFL. So that's why you see a lot of black quarterbacks come up in Canada and have success.
Well, Dominic, you almost have to, man, because you get 3 downs. You don't get 4 downs. So after second down, you're in punting situation unless you're going to go for it. So, and then because the field is wider and longer, you got 1 extra player. So you got a lot of room to operate if you're a quarterback. But again, just the concept of that league, man, is just so suited for guys who can throw the football if you know how to make it work for you. I think about a Condridge Holloway who went up in Canada back in the 70s and made it work for him. I think about a guy who played at Tennessee State. He went to Canada and played at Saskatchewan, Joe 747 Adams. So I'm familiar with guys who have gone there, man, and made names for themselves like yourself. And I think the only thing I would not like about playing in Canada is that damn weather.
I knew where you was going with that. Yeah. So the winters can be brutal. It was games, just games, not just regular days. Like on game days, some games will be negative 20 degrees. Yeah. So it can get bad, and you gotta be tough minded to play in the winter in Canada. Ooh.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
And speaking of that, being that you got an extra player on your team on both offense and defense, did that make the playbook a little bit different than what you were accustomed to because you had an extra player? So that means and because guys are in motion going forward, those 2 things, did it make it a little bit more challenging for you when you got there?
So when I got up there, a lot of the quarterbacks that was already on the team. So almost all the quarterbacks back then, you got some Canadian quarterbacks now, but before, I would say 5 years ago and before, all quarterbacks are American. So you get up there and they're gonna show you the ropes. They're gonna tell you, it's gonna take you a whole season to learn like everything.
Yeah.
And you think, like that kind of hit your ego because quarterbacks, we got to be the smartest, we got to know everything, and we got to you got to know everything quickly. So I'm like,
right.
Nah, it's not gonna take me a full season. Maybe it probably took you a full season, but it's not gonna take me a full season. But literally, every week something in the game, it was something different that happened in the game, and I would just be like, "What was that?" And it really shocked me. Like it really took me a whole season because, like you said, it's an extra. You basically got an extra defensive back on defense and an extra receiver on offense, and then you got to learn motions because in Canada, they starting up top and going downhill, but they can start on one side and end up on the other side, and dudes can be crisscrossing and motioning, and all those motions have terms to it. So
wow,
that took a whole season to learn, motions and stuff. So but after that, man, it's a very fun game once you learn that, because people think receivers have an advantage of having that, run and start with the motion, but it's really not, because defenses know how to, play against that motion and all that good stuff. So, man, it's a fun experience, and a lot of guys do get shell shocked going to Canada because they think, coming from the NFL going to Canada, they think, I'm from the NFL, like I'm gonna be one of the best, and then you get up there, it's a lot of guys on the roster who came from the NFL. Then you like, oh snap! Like it's really a lot of guys up here who can actually play. They just fell in the same situation or something why they couldn't, make it long in the NFL. So it'll shock you once you get up there.
Hey, Dominique, what was it like, man, to throw that out route, man, on that big field up there, man? It's like, you've been used to this one field size, man, and now you got 10 more yards, man. So an out, man, it's like, dude, that dude is so far out there. It's like, man, I got to really get the ball to him way out there. What was that like?
It was definitely, and not only that, like the football is a little bigger as well.
Oh, okay.
So you got to have some nice, nice sized hands to be able to rip a football, especially in the cold, trying to throw an out route from the hash to the field, to the numbers, to the sideline. So my first time experiencing that throw, I definitely threw it in the dirt. Thought, thinking, I put enough on it to get out there, but nope, I was 2-3 yards short, and that was a shocker to me too. Like, dang, like this a big field. And they had to let me know, it's 20 yards wider and 20 yards longer. So man, it's crazy. It's crazy.
I can just imagine, man, what it was like, man. You look at it on TV and you don't think nothing of it, man. But when you're actually on that surface and you got to deal with it in game situations, like normally, man, I can make that throw, but my balls keep falling short. What is going on? It's like, man,
you really got to get it out there.
Yeah, you got to put a little bit more on that, fella, if you want to, man. Well, all that's great, man, to hear, because we don't often get a chance to talk to guys who play that ball up in Canada. But to hear what you're saying, man, is interesting. I love it. It's fun because I came in contact with Canadian football, man, when I was about 14, 15, because I had relatives who lived in Detroit. And I visited them one time during the summer and looked on the TV, and I'm like, football this time of year in the summertime? What's going on? And like Canadian football, I'm like, what? And they were like, okay. And then when I found out 12 men on each side and the field was 20 yards wider and longer, I'm like, oh my God, this is real different. But I loved it because it was something new, something different.
Listen, thank God they start the season early in the summer, because I couldn't imagine being in Canada playing in December and January. That's the coldest months of the year right there in Canada. So
yeah.
No. I probably wouldn't have made it 10 years in Canada if we had to play in December and January. So thank God we start in the summer and not in the fall.
Well, that's why Damon Allen's career, man, is so phenomenal, because 23 years. I didn't say in the NFL and CFL. I said 23 in the CFL.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a lot. And that's a lot of practice. You know, and people don't talk about this part of it either. But that's a lot of practices. That's a lot of practice. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
We talking about 23 years. You're talking about games. I'm talking about all the practices. That's a lot of practices.
That's what I teach my kids now. You're going to practice more than you play. When you think about it, like you're going to have 3 or 4 days of practice, and then that one game.
Yeah.
And then you're going to do it all over again. 3 or 4 days of practice, one game. You're going to practice and train more than you play. So you need to try and master how you practice and how you train. So that one game of the week is the easiest day of your life.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we got a few minutes, man. Talk a little bit about what you're doing now, Dominique. Sounds like you're trying to train some kids up to be quarterbacks or just to understand the game.
Yeah, so I retired this past season, and initially I wanted to be a coach, but the more I was around coaches, I was, not really feeling it no more, because being a coach, you really have no life. Like it's all football, and I didn't want it to, take over me like that, and I lose passion of the game. So now I wanted to be a trainer, and I wanted to start young. I wanted to specifically focus on the youth. I do all ages. I do middle school kids. I do high school kids, and hopefully this offseason I start getting college and pro guys. But my main focus is the youth, because that's where it starts. And if you really want to be, a quarterback at a young age, that's just what I want to do. Because like I said, I didn't start playing quarterback until I was a junior in high school. So I used to always tell myself, man, if I knew what I knew in college back in high school, oh man, who knows what would have happened to me? Like things could have been even greater. So I just want to throw all my knowledge into these kids. So by the time they do reach, high school level and college level, they done heard or been through a lot of this stuff already, and they not falling behind the 8 ball. So that's my main focus. So I have my own company out of my hometown in Lakeland called 3D Elite Performance, as you see on the screen there.
Yeah.
And I also I'm also the quarterback coach at the Trench Academy here in Tampa, Florida. So I got a lot of young kids through that. So it's my passion. It's definitely filling my cup, and I'm trying to continue to grow with these kids and see how they process as they get older, because they really don't know anything.
Yeah.
And that's what's so great about it, because once they get in the game and everything started clicking, they're gonna think about me and the drills we ran, and they're gonna be like, oh, okay, that's why we doing what we doing.
Gotcha.
Exactly. You finally getting the point, and that's what I want to get to with these kids. And man, I got some great kids right now, and yeah, we're gonna continue to see how it goes.
Well, that's great, man. Wishing you all the best. So I got to tell you, man, with you being our guest tonight, man, that puts you in a different category, because now with you being our guest tonight, we like to welcome you to the fraternity. We like to welcome you to the fraternity of Black quarterbacks, known as Quarter 5 Back, man. You are now a lifelong member of our organization and what we do, and anything we can do to help you, we extend that offer to you. And if you got any kids, any Black quarterbacks that you think would benefit by being on the show, we talk to all ages. We don't care. We just want them to know that they are part of a legacy. So welcome to the fraternity, man. And I am just honored to have you join us. You joined Jeff Blake, you joined BJ Daniels. So you in some high cotton. So welcome, and we look forward to continuing to have conversation with you going in the future.
I'm honored, and I would definitely honor that badge for the rest of my life, being a part of this.
Right. I appreciate it. Well, we're going to talk to you somewhere down the road, man, but continue to work with those kids and do the best you can.
Yes, sir. Thank you. And thank you for having me on this show.
All right. Thank you. Well, that's going to about do it for us tonight here on the Post Route. We hope you've enjoyed the show. Don't forget, check us out every Monday night. And as we always say, go deep and go for the bomb. Take care, everybody.